Hi, third grade. Today we are going to start into Unit 1 of Foundations Level 3. Yesterday, if you watched the video, you saw that we introduced to you your first cursive letter of the lowercase alphabet, letter L. And today, at the very end of our Foundations lesson, we're going to introduce two new loop letters. If I scooch over here, you can see them. We did L yesterday. We're going to, at the end, do lowercase e, ed, and lowercase h, hat. Okay, so that's our plan. But before we do that, let's first do our drill sounds warm up. So get ready to repeat. Ready? A, apple, a. E, ed, e. I, itch, I. O, octopus, ah. U, up, Do a couple consonants. Here we go. W, wind, w. X, fox, x. Y, yellow, y. G, game, g. J, jug, j. Very good. And then some digraphs. Let's go. WH, whistle, w. CH, chin, ch. SH, ship, sh. TH, thumb, th. And CK, sock, k. Very good. Now, if you were in Foundations in second grade, you should remember talking about a specific syllable type called a closed syllable. And on this poster, let me scooch the screen. See the poster with syllable types? Some of these you may see as familiar. Let's scooch it up so you can take a look. All right, we have, there, now I think you can see all of them, yes? Okay, closed syllable is what we're going to review today. V-E syllable, you learned, my class told me in second grade. Open syllable, you should be familiar with. But this one, I think they said is new, the LE syllable. And you did talk about the R controlled syllable before too. So these are the 6 different types that we'll be reviewing in third grade. All right, so let's review that closed syllable type today. And the first word I'm going to put up is, let's see, just say it in your head at home. Let me turn you so you can see well. There you go, sorry. Okay. Okay. My word is bat, right. Do you remember from second grade, is this a closed syllable? It is. Do you remember what makes it a closed syllable? Because that's important to know today. It's a closed syllable because it has one vowel in this syllable, and it's closed in by at least one consonant after it. And since it is a closed syllable, that vowel is a short vowel. And to mark it, we're going to learn in a little bit here too, or remember that you use this symbol called a breve, okay, to make the short vowel sound. All right, so let's keep building words and talking about, is it a closed syllable or not? Okay, I'm going to use a digraph at this one. So what's my word? Bath, right. Closed syllable, ask yourself, one vowel, closed in by at least one consonant. Yeah, and does it make that short A sound? Ah? Yes, this is a closed syllable. Very good. What about, trade it out. What about this word? You should know that one too. If you have to tap it real quick, do it. This is best, right? Is the one vowel closed in. Now this time we have a blend instead of a digraph. But does it make the short eh sound? Yeah, because it's closed in after it by one or more consonants. Very good. That is closed syllable. let's do, I have to look here. Oh boy. This one has more cards. Here's a blend at the beginning. Here's my vowel. We'll see if it's short. And I have another blend at the end. And now I built it too high. You have to be able to see it. Okay. What do we think here? We scoot you over. So much better. All right. Let's tap this one. There are a lot of sounds, so let's tap it and see. Go ahead. Clump. Right. When I see this word, I think of a clump of clay. When you get handed a clump of clay and mold it into something new. Let's ask if it's a closed syllable. One vowel? Yes. After the vowel, is it closed in by those consonants, that blend? Yes, and it makes the short U sound. Right? Closed syllable, you're right. Okay, let's do a couple more. I don't have to put all of these back in order to make the next word, which is, I can trade this in for a digraph at the end. Okay, we know this word, right? What is it? Luck, right? One vowel, closed in by this digraph, makes the short sound. It's closed. Keep going. Oh boy, I'm nervous about this one. This is a pronoun, very short. That's it. What's the word? We. Now ask yourself this, is we a closed syllable? One vowel. Is it short? No, and it's not short because it's not closed in after by those consonants. It doesn't matter if it comes in before. It has to come after the vowel to make it a closed syllable. All right, so we know that is not an example of a closed syllable. This one is almost like bat, like we had at the very beginning, except without it. That's it. This is the word at. Is at a closed syllable? One vowel, followed immediately after a consonant, short vowel sound? Yes, so it doesn't always have to have something in front of it or before the vowel to make it closed, just after. I think we're getting it. Let's see. Okay. How about this word? Well, I already see. Do we know what this word says? Yeah, foam. Like some of my soaps at home are very foamy. Foam. Do you think this follows the rule of a closed syllable? There isn't just one vowel, there are two, and it's not the short vowel sound that we hear, is it? So right, that one is not a closed syllable. Okay, so the next thing they want us to do is review how to mark a closed syllable. This time I get to take a break with the cards and just write for a minute. So if my word was this, can we all agree that cat is a closed syllable? Hope so, yes. Because it has the one vowel that's closed in by the consonant after it. So to mark this word correctly, maybe if you had this in second grade, you remember. First, you scoop the word, mark it C for closed syllable, and that should tell your brain that this gets a breve because it's a short sound. Okay? That is how you mark a word correctly. Deal? My students today were very good at remembering that from the past. So, get my eraser here. And they didn't believe me when we went over this next thing together. So, I don't know if you know this, but in the English language, not one single word ever ends with the letter V. I don't know if I knew that so much. I mean, I guess I can't think of a word that ends with V, but that's because it's a rule. So, look at this word that you might see often in math class. Okay. This word is solve, right? You see solve the problem in directions a lot in math. Okay, so I told the kids today that I'm not making this up, I'm telling the truth. This is a closed syllable. And they looked at me. It is closed. And I'll tell you why. This E at the end is silent. Yes, you don't say it when you read it. It's a silent E. And the only reason that E is there is because of the rule, you can't end a word with a V. So this O still gets the short vowel sound, and it's still closed in by these consonants. So this is kind of, a tricky one with that closed syllable rule, but I'm honest, it really is closed. So to mark it, we could go like this, scoop it, mark it with a C for closed, and put the breve above the O. And then I don't want to put an X on here, but if we were writing this word, since this E is silent, we would put a dash through it. Okay? Very good. Now, if you were in school today, you would get out your student notebook and find in that student notebook where it explains the definition of a closed syllable. If you happen to have this at home, it was on page 22. If you don't happen to have this at home, hang with me 1 second while I get it out, and I'll show you what we did in school, okay? Okay, I'm back on page 22 in my Castle book with the student notebook. It reviews at the top what a closed syllable is. It says this syllable can only have one vowel. The vowel is followed by one or more consonants, which closes it in. That's why it got its name. Number 3 says the vowel sound is short. To indicate the short sound, the vowel is marked with a breve. And number 4 says this syllable can be combined with other syllables to make multisyllabic words. Napkin is a multisyllabic word that is made up of 2 closed syllables. Okay? The word that we added in between up and napkin, if you can see right here, is drift. Like you may drift off to sleep at night, or a leaf may drift in the river in the wind. Okay, we wrote the word drift and we marked it correctly using the breve, scooping it, and marking it with a C for closed syllable. Okay, so again, that was on page 22. All right, and now for the grand finale, we are going to look at 2 new cursive letters. So at home, please go get a piece of paper and pencil, and I will teach you how to form those cursive letters. Okay, 3rd grade, I'm back, and I want to refresh your memory from yesterday. When we made the lowercase l, remember we started at the grass line. We then glide up all the way to the skyline, loop back down to the grass line, and make a tail. Remember that from yesterday? We practiced. Okay, so for the letter E, you're going to find that it's very similar to this, except for one big difference. And that is to make a lowercase e, actually, to make any lowercase letter in the cursive alphabet, you always start on the grass line. Good to know. So you're going to start on the grass line again. This time, though, you're only going to glide up to the plain line, loop back down to the grass line, and make a tail. It's almost like a little miniature L. It's a little curve, keep the curve. So I'll say it again and then try it at home, okay? Start on the grass line, glide up to the plain line, loop back down to the grass line, and make a tail, okay? My friends in school today had a pretty easy time learning this loop letter because it's very similar to yesterday's. And we also realized that eventually we're taking these letters to form words in cursive. So when we know more letters, you can start to connect them. Now, these aren't going to make real words because we don't have many letters done of the cursive alphabet. But if you were to start the word leaf, for example, That's not too nice. I better get in my good posture for writing as best I can. I don't like that. And that happens to kids too. You write something and it's not the way you want it to look. You can make an L and then an E. And do you notice when you watched me do that? I'll do it one more time. In cursive, you never pick up your pencil or your marker or your pen. It's so, except for that crease there, it's so fluid. It just flows. Okay, so you might want to take some time practicing doing L, E, L, E, L, E across your paper at home. Okay? And last but not least, we're going to learn our third letter, which also is a loop letter. And remember at the beginning, I said it was going to be this H here. This one has a lot more steps, but with practice today, we were doing okay with it. So give it a try. Again, all lowercase letters start on the grass line. This time, again, you're going to glide all the way up to the skyline, loop back down to the grass line, and then trace back up. Oh boy. Trace back up to the plane line, make a hump, come back down, make a tail. That's actually not too bad. I have creases on this that kind of get in my way sometimes. Need to flatten those out. Okay, let's try again. Take it slow. Grass line, start. Glide up to the skyline, loop back down to the grass line, trace that back up to the plane line, make a hump, and then make a tail. Okay? So again, we can try to connect letters. Now you could do L and E and H. Okay, I squished that into there, but you get the idea. Okay? And again, it really does just take practice, and you have to look at it and say, is this the best, or do we think I can do better? Okay? All right, third grade. Well, thanks for joining me today. I will see you back tomorrow for day 2 of Unit 1. Bye.